Hi everyone, Jenni Burke here from the Gentle Way of Hatha. Welcome back to my channel. We're on part 2 of 3 of using your yoga props. So previously I had done some stretches using your yoga strap. Today we're going to do blocks. And again, this doesn't have to be a follow along video. It might be just something you watch, you implement maybe into your classes as a teacher or your own personal practice. It's not just ways to support your practice, it's ways you can deepen it as well. So we're actually going to start lying down, keep both blocks nearby, although we'll start just with one. Just going to adjust my camera here a little bit. So we're going to start lying down, one of the 2 blocks nearby. And we're just going to bend the knees, have the feet on the floor about hip width apart, let the arms relax for a moment. Take a few deep breaths here. Give the body a little wiggle, just loosening up. Hmm. We're going to do a supported bridge pose. So with the block, there's 3 different levels. I like the first level where the pelvis is on the widest part of the block. It gives you the most support. If you've been doing yoga for a long time and you're looking to deepen your stretch, you could go to level 2, a little less support, but a little more height, or level 3, where you make the block as tall as possible. Now, I do like to say, be mindful of this. You might start at level 1 and gradually increase as you go along, but you're just lifting the hips up. You're sliding the block under the pelvis, the low back, and then you're letting the body relax onto the block. This should not feel painful. It might be a little awkward as you adjust the block. You might need to slide it up and down a little bit. Once you have found a comfortable position, bring the arms out, palms up, roll the shoulders under the body. Take a few breaths here. And again, you might be playing around with the positioning of the block or the height of the block. I always do the lowest level. Again, I just find that gives the most support. That's the most comfortable for my body. You might choose to stay there, or you might deepen the stretch through the front of the body by straightening the legs. So if you straighten the legs out, think of you're aiming the heels to the corners of the mat, to the bottom of the mat. And again, just let the body relax. If that's not comfortable, bend the knees again. Just a few more breaths there. And when you've had enough of that supported savasana and supported bridge, you can bend the knees again so feet are back on the floor. Lifting the hips up, removing the block, let the body relax. You might take a deep integrating breath there. And then grabbing the second block, so you have 2 blocks, we're going to move into a supported butterfly. So soles of the feet together, knees bend and separate. And again, you're just playing around with the positioning of the blocks where you feel like your legs can really relax. So for a lot of us, butterfly is fine without the blocks. You don't necessarily need them. But this is a good modification if you have a lot of tension through the hips or low back. If you're focusing on a more restorative style class, then having the blocks can also just help support the body in butterfly for a longer period of time. So even if butterfly is comfortable for you without the blocks, if you were to hold it for about 10 minutes, it might get a little too intense. So that's where the blocks might just come in handy. A few breaths here. When you're ready, you can come out of that butterfly stretch. We're going to make our way up, well, first to a seated position, but ultimately onto hands and knees. We're going to use the blocks for sinus drain. So this is actually, you're going to be transitioning into a child's pose position. And using one of the blocks, and you're placing the block in a position where you feel like the ridge, the brow ridge, so the eyebrows land on the edge of the block. So I'm starting with the tallest option because that just makes the forehead more accessible towards the block. If you have a lot of flexibility, you might go down lower or again lower. So you choose what feels best, starting with the center of the eyebrows. On the center of the edge of that block. Arms are there to support a bit. Then when you're ready, you're going to just roll the head side to side. You can do that as long as you like. You can also just rest with the center of the forehead on the block if that feels better for you. And then once you are done with that sinus drain, we are going to make our way up to a standing position. We're going to do a wide-legged forward bend using the block, just one. And then a few options for a twist as well. Sorry, my camera is in a very small frame today. So we're going to be doing a wide-legged stretch. So that means you want the feet as wide as possible without too much stress or strain. And then you're going to have the block centered in front of you. So a few inches forward. Mine is at the tallest. And as I've said before, you can always change the levels as you go along. So just hands on the hips to start, toes point straight ahead, press the outsides of the feet down into the mat. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, actually on your next exhale, you're going to begin lowering the body forward and you're moving from those hip joints. So try to keep the back nice and straight. And hold where you feel some resistance. Take a breath. See if you can kind of soften through the legs and hips a little bit. And then you're going to lean forward into the block. So right now we'll have both hands on the block. Back is straight, shoulders square, neck engaged. Take a breath. Now exploring a twist. Keep the right hand on the top of the block. Bring that left arm up to the ceiling. And then switching sides. So left hand on the top of the block. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. And then we're going to lower back down. We're going to deepen into our forward bend. So at this point, you're using the block to support the weight of the body a little bit. Allow the upper body to relax forward as much as possible. You might even be able to bring the hands to the floor and head towards the top of that block. You might hold on to the ankles. Try to let the upper body really relax. Take a nice deep breath. And then straighten the back again. Hands back to the block. Lengthen and lift through the back, through the head. When you're ready, hands back to the hips. Take a breath here. And then inhale all the way up. Very good. In a previous video, I had used the blocks for lunges. And so we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to add a twist using the block. So we'll start with both blocks. You're going to come towards the front of your mat. Blocks will be beside you or just a little bit in front of you. So I have one block on each side of my foot. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower down, bring the hands to the top of the blocks. We're going to come into our lunge by stepping back with the right foot. And to add our twist here, you're going to keep the right hand on the right block and then lift the left arm up to the ceiling. And just hold as long as it's comfortable. Come back to the lunge and we'll switch sides. So right foot forward, left foot back. This time keeping the left hand on the block and right arm to the ceiling. And just hold as long as it's comfortable for you. Then coming back to your lunge. And then foot forward. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. So those are just a few ways you can use your blocks to help deepen your yoga practice, support your yoga practice. So it's not always about modifying or making things easier. Sometimes it's making it easier to go deeper. And that's kind of a key point I'm trying to make with this little mini series of videos. So thank you for joining me. Next time it will be stretches with the bolsters, so a little more restorative. Thanks, everyone. Namaste.